What's going on, and welcome to the Stick Drift Podcast, a podcast for all things cars, racing games, motorsports, and more. In fact, I'll expose you as well. Starting off this episode of the Stick Drift Podcast, while Josh pours himself from a full bottle of Pepsi.
What? I don't know where else I'd pour it from.
At 20 years old.
What else would I pour it from?
A full bottle of Pepsi at 20 years old. That's outrageous.
If you do the maths, it's the cheapest way.
Fizzy drinks as a whole, you know what? I came to a point where I was drinking a fizzy drink, and I just halfway through realized I don't like this. I instantly noticed that I can taste the what's like the main thing in all of them, like corn syrup. I
have no idea.
I noticed I
Pepsi.
could taste the like corn syrup in all of them, and then I just gave up on fizzy drinks as a whole. But yes, welcome to this episode of the. I was plugging out a USB. I was up against the camera, so I was explaining why I was way up against the camera. This is a chaotic beginning.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Stick Drift Podcast, a podcast for all things car culture, racing games, and motorsports, which you saw from the intro. This week should hopefully, possibly have a guest episode. Guest episodes places are now Thursdays, so. Be prepared for the guest episode of the Stick Drift Podcast this Thursday. Of course, so the two dates are like Mondays and Thursdays for Stick Drift stuff. But yes.
When it's on time.
When it's on time, that is. I suppose last week was a Tuesday. But there's not a crazy amount going on in the world of car culture this week. We had the release of the Gran Turismo movie that came out.
It's not officially released yet, has it?
Oh, no, sorry. Early screenings of the Gran Turismo movie
I was going to say,
have dropped.
Can't miss the...
Exactly. We can't. I mean, we're gonna go watch it and then review it on that episode. When is its actual release?
20-something, 28th or something like that.
Because it got slightly delayed, right?
Got delayed 2 weeks. It was meant to be like the 14th, and then...
The fact this actually released, like, as a it didn't just say a concept. It's rather cool. Released
impressive.
7th of August. 2 days from now?
That's pre-pushed back, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Gran Turismo movie, I don't know, showtimes? We'll see, because we'll talk about this thing. We'll have a review of the Gran Turismo movie going up. We'll give it a look. But we have that while you look that up. Some very questionable marketing decisions from Volkswagen, which you will talk about, and some talk. Now, unfortunate for my for the American listeners or the non-UK listeners of the Stick and Drift podcast, but some emissions shenanigans of London. Still some big things. I don't know if we'll ever see emission zones be a non-UK thing. Would be interesting though, but
I can only find US dates. Apparently the 25th.
Huh. So I
don't see why there'd be different dates between the US and the UK.
Yeah, that's very far away from right now, though.
I'll have a quick look on Odeon, Milton Keynes. They say if it's upcoming.
Yeah, there you go. Check that. Because I can't really find anything to do with it. No. Oh wow. So. Other than that, I guess the gaming segment will have a few things from Need for Speed Unbound that got a the reveal of its next update. Whoa! We all have so much faith in Unbound. Apparently, the last one was good, is what I hear. The last Unbound update.
Then we've also got.
I don't know. The SidWaj audience claimed that, so the Discord server, people in the Discord were claiming that, hey, it's a good update actually. We'll have to see, I guess.
It's the Friday the 11th first screening.
Oh, well there you go. Okay, Friday the 11th. So, does that mean by the next episode or the episode after? When? Well, so like a week from now is what, the 12th?
Yeah, it's next Friday.
Next Friday, this coming Friday is the release of the Gran Turismo movie. So, depending on the timing, either next
They
week
don't have a single IMAX screen, by the way. It's all just regular.
Hasn't that been held out for like Oppenheimer or something? I know The Marvels is getting scammed with that. The Marvels is being held back by it's not being given a
The
single
Meg
IMAX
2
screen.
has 2 IMAX screens.
Oh, Dune. Dune is taking all the IMAX screens. IMAX screens from the Marvels. I know that. But yes, I guess we can talk about the Gran Turismo movie. The first screenings were out for that, and I have some of the takes here in news, I suppose. Gran Turismo movie has strong first reactions from the direct. From Games Radar, Gran Turismo's first reactions praises it as one of the best video game adaptations. What's the competition? Sonic is said to be a really good one.
Mario?
Free Guy? Oh yeah, the Mario movie, that was like one of the best ones of all time or whatever recently. Or one of the highest grossing.
They all are the best of all time when they come out.
Yeah, they often, I mean, it often is. It's like #1 movie in the world. Like every movie has that claim. So, Gran Turismo lands rave first reactions. Now, I will say, for these first reactions,
got good first reactions. That's all I'll say.
Okay, Transformers was up there as Stick Drift, try not to have a bad take challenge, but one that I think everyone can unanimously agree on if they've seen it. Secret Invasion got good first reviews. Secret Invasion was said to be the best Marvel thing since Civil War or whatever.
Who was this according to? They need to be fired.
It was it was said to be like, well, it was said to be the best Marvel espionage since Civil War, and the best Marvel's been since.
I mean,
whatever.
I don't really like Civil War, so.
Civil War was good. They were fighting.
Really?
It was the one with Spider-Man and
I do remember Civil War.
Yeah. And he was like, "Did you know that he killed my mum?" And he was like, "He didn't know." And then and then he's like, "My father made that shield." And then he drops the shield. It was good. It was a good movie. But the Gran Turismo movie has received, like I said, raving first reviews, positive things. Even on Twitter, the people who I know watched the movie early, they were even slating brilliant reviews for the.
If you're invited to an early screening, you're more likely to give a positive review here, so that's
I suppose.
It's like being given a free sample at a restaurant. You're more likely to view it favourably
I guess. We'll have to see general audiences, but
I mean, we'll see next week.
Yeah, on Twitter, there was a take that I believe was like surprisingly good, but definitely cliche. Sounds about right, I guess. It sounds about what you'd expect from a Gran Turismo movie.
I mean, what else is there going to be? There's going to be like inspirational scene, driving scene, crashing scene. He gets better and wins.
What's its competition? Like the Need for Speed movie? When it comes to racing games movies, what's its competition? The Need for Speed movie. That's the only racing game movie
and that was so detached from Need for Speed that it don't really.
Exactly. No, they just told their own story, but with cars, really.
Yeah. This
one, I suppose, is at least semi-linked to Gran Turismo. So, if you didn't know, it's based on the real-world driver, Jean Mardenborough. Of course, I imagine the story lines up, was a gamer, and then went on the track, and then was good, and then he became a real-world racer or something. I don't actually know what he's done, though. What did he do? What did he race in, even?
Not a lot. They should be done touring car.
Oh, okay, that makes sense, because...
he done Formula 3.
GT4 European Cup, British GT
What's he done most
Championship.
recently?
Most recent was 2023 Super Taikyu STX. Helm. It's like you know the Forsberg GTR in the Crew 2. It's that car.
Yeah, basically. It's a Japanese touring car series by the looks of it.
And Formula E 2021, 2022.
He was a simulator driver. He wasn't actually.
Yeah, never mind. Super GT GT 500. That's the one. That's his last sort of thing. Last thing that I even recognize. Which, bearing in mind, I am insane casual.
When was the last time we won a race?
I don't know.
2016. In Formula 3.
Well, you know, he came second and third in 2013 and second in 2016.
Has he come higher than third since 2018?
Okay, he doesn't have to be a great driver. He's just a driver who played Gran Turismo, so they made the movie about it. It wasn't going to be about a movie about, like, Lewis Hamilton, right? They weren't going to do that. But they've done that, and what?
Are they going to have him finish third in the film and it'd be a big achievement or something?
Hey, GT4 European Cup 2011. Is that the thing in this? I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
GT4 EU Cup. Jesus Christ, he was scraping the barrel.
That was the first thing he did, and then British GT Championship.
It doesn't even have an image when you hover over it, which sums up how
I'm sure.
how low down that is.
We're in no place to criticize the racing prowess of.
I mean, I could enter one GT4 Cup and get 0 wins, 0 poles, 0 fastest laps, 0 podiums, and 0 points. I assume.
Okay, well, but
I'm sure I could.
I'm sure it won't negate the intense coolness of.
He came third in 24-hour Le Mans in LMP2.
And there you go. See, basically, this generation's Verstappen. If Verstappen isn't this generation's Verstappen.
Oh, he came second in Twitter Racing Series.
That's what I'm saying.
But that also doesn't have an image, so.
Look, I'm sure the guy's worked to be where he is. I don't want to just randomly discount some guy because he's got a movie based on him, right? I'm sure he's
I immediately don't like him. He's got a movie. So.
I'm sure he's worked to get where he is, all right? I would almost guarantee. And I'm sure we'll see that in this movie, you know? A very all-star lineup cast for this movie, which is rather fun, I suppose. It's got, like... obviously, Mr. Unfortunate thing that he did last was Black Widow. David Harbour, Orlando Bloom, Dijman Honsu. I absolutely butchered that. But a lot of recognizable faces and names, very impressively.
Can't wait to watch the film.
You know what? We'll watch it and then we'll have an official review on it. But the first reviews have been positive from the early screenings. And... I think there's a way of gauging it. It's like, if they do early screenings, then the movie's good or something. Like...
I'm not sure that's how that works entirely, but sure.
I don't know. I know that a lot of bad movies will never do a screening, and I don't remember what movie it was recently. There was a movie recently where it was an open public early screening, so you could just go and watch the movie. Essentially.
How badly do you have, like, how low are your aspirations for your own film that you're like, free screening, please?
It wasn't free. I think you still did have to pay, but it was like it was an open public early screening.
So it was just a cinema.
Exactly. So they were just like, hey, we just want you guys to see this movie.
Please.
I forget which movie it was, but apparently it was one of the good ones. Or it was Transformers, so I don't actually remember.
Transformers make a lot of sense. It would add up.
But Gran Turismo movie, we will find out about next week on the Stick Drift podcast, I suppose. We'll go watch that. I'm sure the theater will be packed. I'm sure the marketing has been insane.
The booking on the seats was looking quite packed, to be fair.
Was it actually packed?
Well, it's the first day of the screening.
I guess we could probably go Saturday, right? So
Saturday looks worse, but yeah.
Oh, does it? Oh, yeah, I suppose it's the first day of the weekend. That's the thing.
Early Friday looks alright. So.
Oh, yeah, I guess we'll go that. But with you being unemployed and me being self-employed, so we can go on a weekend.
Not got anywhere to be.
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll check out the Gran Turismo movie. We'll let you guys know what we think. And obviously... the early screenings have gone out, and woo, I'm sure it's an amazing movie, and Josh is #1 hater by default, as usual.
Well, the helmet's blue, it's basically Williams, so it's gotta be good.
There you go. But the next thing we can sort of jump over to from the Gran Turismo movie, GT remaining as the topic. You'll see this is a brilliant segue, right? Because GT, right?
I don't see where this is going, but I'm ready.
See, Gran Turismo, GT... And then the Golf GTI logo
that's good.
Recently got a rather questionable revamp.
Twitter found it. I think Twitter was memeing more than anything, but it is still kind of funny.
I imagine so. But obviously, Volkswagen is a brand that have allowed public opinions to have them utterly bent over since Dieselgate. Like, since Dieselgate, Volkswagen has endlessly been on their knees begging, like, general population to be like, look, we're good, please.
Yeah, Bryce still hasn't recovered. They're just begging at this point.
Yeah, obviously, Dieselgate winning the Stick Drift Award for biggest whatever they won, but they won a Stick Drift Award last year, which is impressive considering Dieselgate happened in what, like
2000?
I was gonna say 16, something like that. But obviously, they had a scandal where it turned out they were rigging their vehicles.
Mercedes were doing it as well. They were just kind of ignored because
was it a Ubisoft Blizzard moment where like
everyone was doing it?
Oh, okay.
GM, Volkswagen, and Mercedes would. Everyone was. I should BMW were doing it. So, but
well, that's unfortunate. I suppose a bit of a Ubisoft Blizzard
Diesel
moment.
lied to the US government. So
I suppose. Okay, yeah, there you go. I guess that's
so they got
hammered. That makes more sense. But yes, they were making it so their cars were knowing when they're having emissions tests and lowering the emissions just for the tests.
Imagine the pay rise the guy who found this out got. Like he was like, what if we cheated the emissions test?
Yeah. And it's the kind of a decision that would have to go up the ranks. I've unplugged my headset by mistake. But it's the kind of a decision that would have to go way up the ranks to... It's like how Elon was reportedly signing off on lying about Tesla vehicle ranges, you know? That sounds like a decision.
I imagine it was like it's not really cheating, it's just kind of... It is passing the emissions test.
But once it's on the road producing the emitting, it's just a completely different number. Yeah,
but it passed the emissions test. I imagine that's as it went higher and higher. They were like, and I assume they never thought they'd get fined as heavily as they did.
Yeah, because it became a big scandal, right? And from
look at Mercedes and everyone else got away with it.
Yeah.
They got like a 100 mil fine or something, which is nowhere near enough, really.
They since that was when they finally let Transformers have the Volkswagen because they were like, we're not letting our cars be killing machines. And then turns out Dieselgate. So then they were like, oh sure, we'll take the publicity actually. Then obviously they've been championing EVs, they've been doing the EVs, the ID3, the ID2 now, all of the big Volkswagen EV-ing. They've been going crazy on it.
Surprising if Citroen is in Formula E and Volkswagen isn't, which is surprising.
Well, that is actually pretty surprising, yeah. But Volkswagen have been desperate to solve their reputation crisis. Their share prices have never fully recovered, as far as I'm aware. And part of that...
I'd look in a while, but they hadn't last time I checked.
Yeah. Part of that is to fully change the GTI branding. GTI is the badge that goes after Golf. You know, you got the Golf GTI.
It's their performance sub-brand. It's like Honda's Type R or
so
Citroen's THP before they discontinue that completely.
I've never heard of it, THP. So sounds like a TV.
Been gone since like 2015.
Yeah, but the GTI branding is just their sports model of any car, and they have recently revamped the GTI logo. The old logo was
just GTI spell out all caps.
It was just GTI spell out. It was this. It was just that GTI in that font. Now, rather questionably, this is the new GTI logo.
They've been clever with it. They've given it 2 steps because they know without it would look very...
Well, the issue is that it's 2 steps, right? But now, because it's 2 steps, you can slice it down that one, and it...
That would be an interesting
No, because that's what
choice.
I'm saying, because 2-step is worse. If it was 1... I mean, but
if it's 1 step, you could just...
You could just duplicate it, but now it's 2-step. It looks like both of them in one image. That's the issue. You can just put one white line ruins this logo. One white line in an editing software.
Yeah, Twitter was having a fun with this.
But yes, so this is the new GTI logo. The lightning bolt, obviously, to represent
Electric.
electric. Yeah. Ooh, look, we're doing EVs and all. Presumably, like you said before the podcast, this probably mostly confirms that the upcoming Golfs will be electric.
I mean, the Golfs have been getting more and more. They've been getting closer and closer to the regular one. Year after year. Like, I think the new one is actually just a regular Golf now. It's got maybe a slight... It's got a single exit exhaust now, which is, it's just a regular Golf with a bigger engine.
Also, the Golf got, like, a bit of a change. I don't like one generation... I don't like this Golf. This Golf, I despise it. I do not like this generation of Golf. And anything around this generation.
They've actually aged horrendously. It looks so old already.
I much prefer the, like, the Polo. Give me a smaller Polo, and I'll take that. That's the kind of design I'll take. I mean, looking at this image, I have no idea what this is, but that looks kind of alright, I suppose.
That's the new Golf R.
Is that the new...
a limited edition new Golf R.
What's the difference between R and GTI?
The R's all-wheel drive.
Oh, okay.
GTI's front-wheel drive.
And like this design. I despise this design. But new GTI, the newer GTI has almost gone a bit backwards. I can't decide if I like it. It's got the front lights of the bad models.
Got a bigger grille, really.
And then a bigger grille, really. No, that's all it is, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, it's... And with this, obviously, new... Oh, does that mean that the GTI badge on the car is going to be that new badge as well, I suppose?
Of course it does.
Oh, well, that'll be interesting. It's...
Someone is going to do it, and it's going to be...
It's the
an
fact.
Interesting design choice.
Now, I'm sure if someone's not got the gist of what we're on about, it's a little confusing.
Imagine 1940.
It's the fact that it's a German car brand. That's what really gets it. It's any other brand making an eye into a lightning bolt like this. It's the fact that it's a German car brand with the heritage that Volkswagen have. And and they do this. It's I don't know.
I saw it like 40 minutes after it was posted on Twitter, and the comments were already exactly what you can imagine.
Yeah,
they were edits of the logo.
Exactly. It's really, really unfortunate. I don't know. It had to have been signed off by a lot of people.
didn't allow the Chevy SS badge because...
Oh yeah, because it's just like the SS.
They're not going to allow this.
Exactly, yeah, right? Like surely they
Imagine deliveries.
Yeah. A crazy thing as well, yeah. Like Forza didn't allow the SS because SS like Super Sport or whatever it stands for something, right? But it wasn't allowed because of SS. And this is even closer to that SS logo.
It's not even a letter, it's a symbol. It's a symbol of why.
To clarify, if you don't get it already, SS was this two lightning bolt logo, was the logo of a subsection of the German military.
Very bad.
Yeah, really heinous, terrible things by said subsection, and it's just almost a parody that a German brand like Volkswagen is using it for their logo. Look, it looks like it would be in like a parody skit. That it would be like I can imagine like a Volkswagen in a meeting rebranding as a skit, and this be one that's brought up.
Yeah.
It's rather funny. Like, yeah, it would be like, a two-step one, and then the two, and then...
I'm almost
like
certain they ran with GTE at some point for their performance electric ones.
I mean, that would have worked. It would have solved
I don't know why
issue.
they didn't carry on with that. Because you had the Golf E, and then you had the Golf GTE.
Yeah.
I don't know why you don't have the Golf GT Lightning.
Yeah, you couldn't You couldn't tell this is even GTI, right? To me, that just looks like GT.
It's too close to the
Lightning
regular GT version, in
Yeah,
my opinion. It looks like an electric GT.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it
not
looks
a
like
GTI.
exactly. That's barely an I. It looks like GT, and then yeah, just like lightning symbol. So like electric GT, and the fact that it doesn't. It's higher than the GT font wise. Yeah, it doesn't work, and it also has the very...
GTE would fit in because they ran with GTD for their diesel GTIs.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, GTE could have worked, man. And it
Unless someone else has GT.
Oh, yeah, true. Someone probably else has GTE cars. I see a racing team. Or not, like a racing series.
RB Endurance, wouldn't it? Grand Touring Endurance or
GTE
something like that.
drivers, yeah, GT3 cars to replace GTE cars, stuff like that. LM GTE, stuff going on with the GTE name. So I suppose it's going on somewhere. Ford Mustang GT350 GTE. It seems like a racing series.
But yeah.
I imagine that's probably one of the reasons they haven't. But this is just so poor.
Interesting design choice.
Yeah, from a German brand as well. But the next thing that we can talk about is a big thing going on with London emissions. Now, this has been happening for
Oxford as well, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah,
Oxford's getting it soon as well.
Them, and London is
Manchester having them soon as well, I think. Everywhere's getting them now.
Yeah. So, for those out of the loop and those out of the UK, if you didn't know, the UK has a silly little thing called emission zones, where the London area, central London, the more busy, the more bustling and the more polluted central London area has an emission zone currently. London's a massive city. It's nowhere near the whole of London. It's just like a decent chunk of London. And it has an emission zone where you're going to have to explain what exactly happens within that emission zone.
So within that emission zone, because obviously anyone in Europe will know, you got Euro 3, like you got Euro 1 through, are we up to 6 or 7? I think 7 comes in either next year or the year after, but yeah, Euro 1 through thing, and that's basically when that car was built, what emissions standards it was complying with. And within these ULEZ ultra low emission zones, the motorcycles have to be Euro 3 or newer, petrol have to be Euro 4 or newer, and diesel have to be Euro 6 or newer. So otherwise, you get charged £15 a day for existing.
So is it just your car? So what if you live there and have it parked? Is it just when you drive in that area that you pay the 15? Because is there not cameras for it or something?
Because there's cameras, and if you parked on the roads, like you will be in London.
Yeah.
I'd assume if you're in view of a ULEZ camera, you're just gonna get had.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. And that is, I imagine, honestly, it has to have had an actual effect, right? Like, I imagine it's probably actually had, like,
People
a positive...
make a bigger deal than it really is. Euro 3 for bikes, it's anything newer than 2007, which is, for commuting, is getting on a bit now.
Yeah.
Euro 4 for the petrol cars is 2005 and newer, which... 2005 cars are getting on a bit now.
So, to be fair, from The Guardian... An increasing number of research studies are showing that low emission zones improve health. More than 320 zones are operating across the UK. Didn't know that.
So more than I thought.
Europe and notably Tokyo, Japan. These reduce air pollution across the area by curbing the number of highly polluting vehicles, normally older diesels.
It is solely aimed at diesels. You can tell because it goes... Euro 3 and 4 for bikes and cars, and then jumps to 6 for diesels.
Yeah. An analysis, hospital data from 69 cities, that's a funny number, with ULEZ, it's found a 2% to 3% reduction in heart problems, and 7% to 12% reductions in stroke. That one's a noticeable one. Like, 1 in 10?
Yeah.
I'd say that was yeah. I mean, even.
I mean, you've been to London. Imagine breathing the smog in all day. I can't imagine it's great for you.
Yeah. The improvements were greatest for older people, which makes sense, and resulted in estimated health cost savings of Okay, well, that doesn't matter because UK. I mean, I imagine for the health institutes, that's added savings. 4.4 billion euro in total in health expenses. Over, I assume, all les zones. Yeah, I'd say that's done a thing. I'd say that's definitely managed a thing. So what's the difference between the ultra low and the low? Because where's the ultra low compared to the low? Is like ultra low just central London, and then low is like the other many hundreds that we don't know are in the UK?
I've never heard of a les. I think is les just the European name for it?
LEZ, L-E-Z, L-E-Z. L-E-Z, it was here somewhere. It's an abbreviation of whatever the word is.
Large, much low emission zone.
Low emission zone, that's the one, yeah. So then there's ULEZ, ultra low. So I assume an LEZ is probably all over the place, but you don't notice it, I guess. LEZ zones, UK. Can give this a look. Images. We have, I just see London. Oh no, here we go. Low emissions. There's one in Edinburgh, one in, I'll send you the image. Manchester, Aberdeen.
They have made it super hard to check. Like, it doesn't give you a definition of what is and isn't les compliant.
Yeah, I suppose.
It just says the low emission zone. This is from the official Transport of London website. Operates to encourage most plain heavy diesel vehicles driving in London to become cleaner. Just, it doesn't say what is.
But we have Aberdeen, Glasgow, Bath, Birmingham, Bristol, Manchester, Portsmouth, Gateshead, Newcastle upon Tyne, Dundee, in Australia, Edinburgh, Sheffield, Oxford, and London are the places with low emission zones. But I suppose London's the only one with an ultra low emission zones. The ULEZ.
Regular les is commercial only.
Okay, so it's only for, okay, that makes sense. And I suppose ULEZ is just is the general public. Okay, yeah. So what is happening is now London, if you didn't know, is it not that, I want to say, more people live in London in the UK than don't live in London in the UK? Is that a factual
No,
stat?
I think London, it's got a population like 7 mil.
Just 7. That would have been cooler.
7.
It's just.
I think it's high, but it's not insane.
I know UK total is 9. It's 9 million, and UK total is 60 million or something like that.
Yeah.
So 9
it's a large
million,
percentage, but it's not a majority.
Definitely. Like 610. I can't do that math in my head right now.
Some of them.
A sixth of the UK, almost. But the London big area, and of course Central London being that main area where a lot of the, I'd say, more commercial. You'd be a daft man to live in Central London, or a rich man. But most of the...
Tell that to 9 million people. Yeah.
I mean, it's a central. Like, we're talking city of. But what I was going to say is most of the living in London goes around the edges. It goes, like, past zone 3. I'd say 2 and 3 is when, like, the general living of...
Where is zone 2 and 3?
Okay, I guess you haven't been Londoning as much as
I'm not a London aficionado, unfortunately.
Exactly. London zone map. Zone 2 and 3, I know places like, Westfield.
Low emissions in Aberdeen. What is going on in Aberdeen?
I don't know.
It's a low emission.
I only know Aberdeen because I've heard it said Aberdeen.
Someone drove a work truck through there one day and they were amazed at this new technology.
Yeah. I think like the Scottish man from The Simpsons used to say Aberdeen, and that's all I know it from.
They've progressed from horse and cart to motor vehicle. Yeah. Emission zones.
I'm trying to find a decent map of this zone map. Here we go. So zone 1, zone 2, and then Stratford.
That is horrendous.
Stratford, Isleworth, Brentford, Wembley. That's where the living begins in London. That kind of area, and then you get zone 6, which is way further, zone 5. Some zones are mixed. You can have places that are zone.
Well, they just keep adding new
3.
zones when London gets bigger.
It's like a battle royale map, yeah, and they'll slowly start closing in next.
It's like an inverse storm.
That's what's happening. The ULEZ zones are an inverse Fortnite zone. They're going inwards.
It's going to progress past the M25 zone.
Yeah. So zone 1, 2, 3, 4, and like I was saying, a lot of the more touristy stuff goes on in Central. You got City of, you got Hyde Park. It's technically just in zone 2. Again, like I said, zone 1 and 2.
The average net worth decreases the
Exactly,
higher your zone
yeah.
number.
You got Regent's Park, stuff like that. Even Victoria, that's part of zone 2. So zone 2/3, 2, 3, 4, 5 is where I'd say general populations, and now the ULEZ zone, where of course your car has to, whatever Josh explained earlier,
Be made after 2005 for petrol,
Yeah.
or after 2015 diesel.
Oh, but there you go. So you can buy post 2015 diesel cars. That's a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
Skoda still make diesel estates.
Do they?
Yeah. Can't imagine they sell very many. But...
No. It's now expanding, like an inverse Fortnite zone, to, is it the whole of the county that is Greater London?
I think it's Greater London is the definition.
Yeah. So Greater London is basically...
anything inside the M25, really.
If you look on Google Maps, it's anything that has the white instead of the green, basically, is what Greater London is.
Anything that's just polluted.
Yeah, essentially. So if I go Greater London, you can see it is a much larger chunk of the UK, most definitely. It's the whole way, all the way from... It's got Heathrow Airport, it's got both the airports of London.
It's literally the M25 London Ring Road, and then anything inside of it, apart from Walton upon Thames for some reason.
Yeah, it is a county, no? I believe Greater London's a county, I think so.
It probably is.
Yeah, but you got Greater London, then you have, which goes... It's just shy of Watford, which I hear a lot of my brown people relatives are Watford. It's just shy of Shafford in the other direction, but it includes Croydon, Sutton, Orpington, Edgware, Wembley, Enfield. This is going to affect a lot of, way more of the general public, is what this is going to affect. What you mentioned was there was an instant...
a fire sale, essentially.
Yeah, everyone's selling their non-compliant cars.
Anything is...
Well, because it's to avoid essentially a £17 a day fee.
Yeah.
Yeah, which makes sense to avoid that, right? And when is this taking place? This expanded and enhanced.
End of September.
End of September, so they've got time to get rid of them, but it makes sense to definitely start getting rid of them, right?
Yeah.
I imagine you'll see a lot of... it'll be interesting to see a lot of the London cars basically just get...
It's a load of the diesels just being flogged for dirt cheap. And then a load of, like, sort of... the way just drivable classics.
Yeah,
like sort of your 1992, because obviously anything new in 2005 is compliant. It's like your sort of 90 to 2005-ish. Sort of like, the old person kind of car, like a Mark II. I think a Mark II X5. I think you can get a Mark II X5 that's non-compliant. But like, they brought a car in 1998, and because they live in London, they drive like 5 miles a year, so they don't really drive it, so they have no need to replace it.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Huh.
But obviously they can't keep it anymore. So
yeah, those will be very much getting chucked out of London, I suppose. What's the one on,
like... a LAN for £4,000.
Yeah.
Which is a bargain and a half, but...
You could probably currently, if you wanted something slightly older, don't live in London, wanted something slightly older...
or Aberdeen.
Just like a general... just like a general everyday kind of car. You're better off setting it to London. The fee and time of getting it driven or driving it from there would probably be justified, because everyone's trying to get rid of their cars right now to beat the September very big cost that is going to be hitting everyone. I hope people are aware of it and don't just start getting charged. Well,
they'll know when they get their notices through the door. But,
exactly, right? And then they have to sell it. Obviously, I doubt anyone in London is going to be buying them as well. They'd be rather rickety cars, so it's not like some rich guy's going to be like, well, I can justify to pay the 17, so I'll buy this Audi from 2001. They're not like cars where a rich person's going to justify owning them. They're rickety cars. So most of that 9 million is now going to have to start managing to sell their cars to people outside of London. I'm curious, what's the population of just Zone 1? London Zone... Like, what kind of an increase is this? Inner London...
I'm sure it's a fair amount.
Yeah, but there's a lot of living that goes on in the other areas. Okay, no, to be fair, population, Inner London, this includes a lot of areas that I don't, but it's definitely far from Greater London. 4 million, 3.4 million in just Inner London. So, essentially, it's not affecting... It's a double amount. It's affecting a double amount of people compared to what it was before. What this is gonna do to, like, general... I mean, what does it do for the environment? I suppose it's actually been increasing quality of health, I suppose, which is a good thing. Yippee! And... I don't know, now what? I guess, now what? This happens, then also what, Oxford is getting one?
I think Oxford are really unhappy about it, but I think they're trying to get one put in there.
So if Oxford, Oxford the general public isn't happy about it, or like Oxford Council?
I don't think anyone in general. People like to cut down ULEZ cameras for some reason. I don't know why you do that.
I imagine. What's going on with who's the angry people? Only 150,000 people in Oxford, by the way. As I was searching, it said Oxford population. So yeah, like rather small amount. So for that amount to be putting as much emissions,
places with clean air zones planned, so ULEZ.
Yep.
Edinburgh, Glasgow, Newcastle upon Tyne. I guess they want the publicity. I don't know why they're there.
Yeah.
Bradford, Manchester, Liverpool, Oxford, Bristol, Portsmouth.
Huh. I'm also seeing...
And then Birmingham, Bath, and London have them in place currently.
Oh, well, there you go. Also,
Bath in there.
I'm seeing a zero emission zone. What's that about? It was
right.
I searched Oxford.
You know
ULEZ.
the place in Denmark where they cycle? What's the name of it? Cycle place Denmark.
What?
Is it Denmark?
I think so. I want to say Edinburgh, but that's wrong.
Yeah.
No, what is it? Is it the place with the weed? Is that the place you're on about?
It might be. List place names.
Amsterdam. Is it Amsterdam?
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
They want to have a zero emission zone.
Okay, I mean that makes sense if
2025, I think. So in 3 years or something.
That makes sense if everyone's cycling. You know, I think London's a good city for cycling. Maybe Milton Keynes is definitely a lot better when it comes to cycling.
I'm amazed there isn't a proposed ULEZ for Milton Keynes.
Yeah, it makes sense because they're trying to go
It's bigger than Bath.
It's definitely not one of the major cities. I mean, looking at the UK, you can see it's more like Leeds, Manchester, Liverpool, Birmingham.
I mean, you're in the top 10 now for population.
Oh, are we? That's kind of cool,
yeah.
I suppose. But for definite, it's like London's the city, and then, yeah, like I said, Leeds.
But like Manchester.
Yeah, Leeds,
Liverpool.
Manchester, Liverpool, Birmingham. Sheffield looks noticeable, and Leicester and Nottingham definitely look better than bigger than MK. Or more dense, I suppose.
Yeah.
Looking at it on a map, MK has kept a lot of green. That's why it doesn't look as dense. On the Google Maps, it's got a lot more green than basically any city its size. For now, yeah.
It's one of the youngest cities, is why.
Yeah. Which you can tell it's expanding so much as well, because it expands like a virus on the UK, is what I say for MK. Like,
once it combines with Leighton Buzzard.
Yeah. Which it'll be absorbed.
It's not too much longer, really. I give it 15, 20 years.
If it combines with Leighton Buzzard, that's a lot of distance to travel, though. Like, there's Stoke Hammond in the middle, Great Brick Hill, Newton Longville. A lot of expanding has to go on for it to reach Leighton Buzzard. It would be rather big if it did manage to. If it expanded at like as a radius and not just towards Leighton Buzzard to try and grab it.
Yeah, they wouldn't be allowed to go through Woburn Golf Club, I don't think, actually. So.
And I believe stuff down there isn't even owned by MK, so it's gonna have to be a big old thing. But I imagine because there's so much greenery still in MK, it probably gets away with not having the emission zones, right? That's probably why it, because it's definitely kept a lot compared to any other city its size. Like I was saying though, because it expands so much, it's kind of cool to see, because it's like if you go center, it gets older and older and newer the further out you go.
Yeah, you can tell center. They need to redo center. It needs redoing.
Like if you look at center, it's got like kind of housing and kind of design.
Well, I mean, what, it's 60s, isn't it? It's all very
exactly places.
Brutalist.
Yeah. A lot of places, Fishermead, Woolston, Bradwell, all of those are kind of and then
Luton's the same though. Luton got massive investment in the 60s.
Yeah.
And they kind of got nothing after, so
Milton Keynes seems to have continued, and now if you go outside Milton Keynes Village, anything on the edges, Oak Hill, Oxley Park, anywhere at the top, bottom, any edge of MK has robots delivering food. Like they've and it's like that sort of.
Seems like they used robots to design the road layouts, but
yeah, it's the very joked about copy paste neighborhoods, where it's like the very polished looking if you're in the UK, you know the copy paste neighborhoods.
They'll build like 5 cul-de-sacs of like 300 houses each. None of them are any different.
They look like fake housing.
Identical.
They look like someone would look at them and be like, people don't actually live there. Like, which I suppose is a good thing. They're so new, they don't look as...
It's a side effect of being a new place.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they have to build houses to blend in with the local environment. Well, in a place like Milton Keynes, the local environment is just copy and paste houses.
Yeah.
In a place like, I don't know, like Woburn or something, they'd have to build them differently to keep within the natural area. But
it's like but it does look like it looks like a fake neighborhood. It looks like a fake neighborhood is what it looks like. Rather American as well. Like I searched copy paste neighborhood, and like this is a sky view of a very American place, but it could be the UK, honestly, at this point, with one of the copy paste neighborhoods.
Yeah, and there's no that's the US.
It definitely is. It definitely is. But they're
definitely... left gives it away. The houses at a 45-degree angle wouldn't fly.
Yeah, they're definitely getting to it though. And then they're good, and they're a representation of the big modernization or whatever. Woo!
Yeah, but, it's gonna be the new 60s. Give it time.
I imagine. Yeah, like it is...
when all those houses are run down. It's going to look right.
Still rather cool with MK that you can basically go back a decade at a time by just driving more and more.
Every mile you drive in is 5 years back in time.
Yeah, because it's been expanding so much. Like with London, you look at the edges of London, Watford. I guess technically not London, not even Greater, but like Watford, Uxbridge, places like Elm Park, anywhere even outer the living areas, they look like Centre MK compared to Edge MK. It's an interesting one, and obviously ULEZ now going all the way in. You're gonna start seeing a lot more newer cars.
This started off as ULEZ and went into design very quickly.
It did. I mean, we happened to do that. But
what was the original point that was being made with the ULEZ?
Like, we were just talking about it, I think. We were just talking about it, yeah. Like I said, not a lot going on in the world of cars this week. That was really it. There just wasn't a lot. Someone did say that that commented last episode, Josh needs a job to get his Lotus, is what someone commented.
I do. I've been looking at Series 1 releases and it's not fair.
Yeah.
They're like just out of reach.
But
that sick one I sent you recently, that's an exception, but they're like 10 to 13 grand for a nice Series 1.
It's unfortunate. But then, not being recorded on the same day, ooh, we can move on to the gaming segment of the Stick Drift podcast. Oh my god, and we're back, and this is my editing software making a thumbnail. Let me move that over there. We're back for the gaming segment. Nothing would have changed. It was a pretty seamless transition until I acknowledged the transition. Now it wasn't a seamless transition.
Nothing's changed at all.
Exactly, nothing at all. It was just 2 seconds ago that I was saying that sentence that I said. This is the final segment of the Stick Drift podcast, where we talk about the going-ons in the world of racing games, as well as in the world of motorsports. And we begin with Need for Speed Unbound reportedly getting its volume 3, 4, which are they?
I've heard 4, like leaks of 4. There's like a wide body Countach.
Is that 4? I thought that. When did they release?
I think that's 4. 3 was.
Oh, 1 was launched, right? Because
1 was launched. Yeah.
Okay, I thought 1 was also an added one. No, that makes more sense.
Wasn't this Volume 0 at launch?
Was it? I don't think it was. I think it was Volume 1 at launch, is what it was, as far as I remember.
It's Need for Speed. You get like 2 cars. One of them's a reskin, and that's about it.
But
really,
they confirmed in a very tiny image a Lamborghini Countach LPI1, whatever it is.
800-4, 2021.
The newest Countach, basically, the revamped Countach. Is it in Forza? I don't know if it is.
Not that I'm aware of. I don't think it is.
Horizon Countach. But, yeah, it doesn't seem like it is. I searched Countach, and I would assume the newer one would be.
Yeah.
So it's
they would have
not
made
in
a big
Forza.
deal about it if it was.
Yeah. I don't even think it's in GT7. And it's in the Crew 2 / Motorfest, I suppose. But, yeah, so it's coming into Need for Speed. It seems to be wide-bodied. Sure, probably, it's Need for Speed, it probably is. This will apparently be the EA Play car, which, wild that they're putting so much into EA Play and everyone's just letting them get away with it. But
half the Volume 4 is going to be EA Play.
Yeah, that's a choice. Obviously, this doesn't allude to any what the thing's going to be, because obviously there's things in these volumes as well. The last one had these zones you would go to you'd go to these zones and you'd police fight in those zones or something. And I think they had drift events with a team, or maybe that was 3. Look, I need to be more into it.
They all merge into one.
Yeah, I need to try and get into the creator program for it, is what I need to do. Because then, not only will I get it early, I can make videos on it, I can expand my the main channel brand into a bit of Need for Speed at least.
Be a nice 4K view video.
Exactly, right, you know, it would be nice, at least. It would be nice, at least, to delve a little bit into that. But I need to get into the EA Creator Program, basically. But yeah, that's coming out this month, allegedly, because it was in the promotional material for the EA Play Rewards, in the whole of EA Play, for this month. Is EA Play the one that we have? The £20 a month
I don't have it anymore.
Or 20?
It's £18 a year when we first got it. I think it's gone up to 40 or something. But
unless this is a different one, but it was goated when we got it, because it was £20 a year, and it's I got Unravel out of that. You got Titanfall 2.
You got discounts on Apex.
Discounts on Apex stuff. You got basically anything good that was EA. Need for Speed, I want to say Need for Speed Remastered, I think I got on EA Play as well.
Yeah, Hopper Street Remastered?
Yeah, that's the one. A bunch of stuff on EA Play Remastered.
Burnout Paradise was on there as well.
Yeah, it was genuinely really good when we got it. I don't know what state it's in currently. It seems to be way closer to a Ubisoft Plus, rather than
I think it's per month only now as well.
Is it per month? I really hope this is a separate thing to the one that we got, is what I'm hoping, really. But Unbound is getting the Lamborghini Countach. It's whatever. I mean, look, I hope it could be good. It depends what they add.
Be good.
It depends what they. It depends
they add enough content for about a week.
I hear the last one was good. That's
why Heat has more players.
Did you see the prices though of the last one? It was There was one pack that was like, I think it was like £6, 3 cars.
Oh, yeah.
And then I would have sent you it. And then it was the other ones were like £7 per car. Or something like that. That's atrocious. What are you talking about?
That's EA for you. That is what they do best.
That was shocking, huh? That was disgusting.
Yeah, Unbound's doing quite poorly, and I mean, less than Crew 2 concurrence by like half.
Yeah, I mean, obviously people have been very skeptical on Unbound, but as far as within the people who are still sticking with Unbound, it does seem to be going up a bit, positivity-wise. Like,
I mean, there is only up from what they're at the minute.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. I guess when you're that low,
you can't make it any worse.
Yeah. It's we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens with Unbound. This update could be good. I will try my best to somehow get into the creator program and do something related to the Unbound stuff. It might be they're actually making changes to the game, which is good. One thing I've been really worried about the Crew Motorfest with is that what if the updates are just cars in a playlist, you know? Because Crew 2, you would actually get like a new thing, you know? The events would be like a new revamped thing, and we got stories in one of them, and you'd get like a PvP change in one of them, and like an entirely new system, the hobbies, like 70% of the Crew 2 was added through updates, you know?
They're leaning into Forza. They better stay with the Crew 2 for that update.
Yeah, like Forza doesn't add new... like, what was the last new thing they added?
They added a new story like once every 4 months.
Yeah, which is basically like a playlist, right? I mean, like, base feature. Like, the last thing would be, what, the race creator thing? The playground creator thing. Because before that, it was the Battle Royale. You know what, the actual race creator.
I don't keep up with Forza. I do not.
In 4, they added the Battle Royale. I don't know if it was in 4 or 5 that they added, like, a full race creator can place items.
5.
Yeah, but that was the last, like, base game feature I think they added. But obviously they do the expansions, and it seems like Crew...
We got Hot Wheels again.
Motorfest is very likely to do expansions. Yeah, Hot Wheels again, woo. I need to put that on my schedule right now. Possible map expansions. That's one of the other videos that I need to do. Map expansion talk is one of the other videos that I need to do, and I keep forgetting to put videos on my schedule. There we go.
Kind of defeats the point of having a schedule.
I know, exactly. But that I need to do. Unbound getting a new update, which, sure, you know...
Sure is an update.
But not to be confused with the movie, Gran Turismo is getting cars. It's getting 4
new cars, no new track.
Yeah, so it sounds like some Apex behavior to remove a new thing that they would normally add, right? But they normally will get a new track, and for 3-4 new cars, they do the same thing where they release like silhouettes of them, and everyone instantly deduces what they are. But this time around, it's kind of a cool one. You got a Maserati MC20, very cool. The Toyota Corolla, an interesting car.
The GR Corolla.
Oh, was the regular one already there? Because...
Oh, so the GR one is the only one you really want to be in the game anyway.
I was going to say, because it's a weird one to not have already been in the game.
And then C1
is
Corvette.
It the Barbie car? I think it's the Barbie car, right? I mean,
it's a C1 Corvette, but it's the Barbie one from Forza, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a cool, yeah, because it's the Barbie car. I mean, Forza got it as the Barbie car, I suppose, but whatever. And...
Ambulance.
Then an ambulance, a Toyota ambulance, which is pretty cool, I guess. It's actually pretty sick, to have an ambulance in Gran Turismo. Sure, you know, sure. Do they have F1 cars in Gran Turismo too?
They have, they're not F1 cars. They're
because I'm looking at like
a Formula Series, like an old Formula Series.
All right, yeah, because I was looking at GT7 April update, and it has 2 F1 cars. But yeah, you know what? Sure. Gran Turismo, they're Gran Turismoing. they're on the new game, right? Like the game they're on right now is the new game, is it not?
Well, I mean, no, it came out like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, a year and a half, but it's like it's the one with the bad prices, the one with the real world prices. That's this one, right? Okay, yeah. I know people.
I mean,
always
MC20 only cost 300 grand, which isn't too bad in Gran Turismo terms.
Does it cost that IRL?
I'd assume so.
Oh damn! Okay, it's a cheaper car than I thought, for how it looks, at least.
It's a Maserati.
Is it monthly then that they get new car? These new
you
cars?
get new cars every month, and it's like a new track whenever the developers are awake. So.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, 3 to 4 new cars on the month every month. That's pretty good. I'll give them that. That's a pretty good way of going about it for a game that isn't how do I phrase it has content, but it's not like engagement content based.
For a track racer, it's
for a track racer, 3 to 4 new cars every month on the month. With new tracks every now and then.
Free of charge.
Yeah, like that's pretty good. I would say that's probably one of the better ways of doing that. It's better than like F1, where it's a new game every year and you have to buy a whole new game.
They updated the driver ratings for F1 22.
Yeah, GT7, they're fine in my book. And in the rest of the world of racing and gaming, I don't know if much has gone on in the world of Forza Horizon. I don't think so.
I went on like last week and nothing seemed different. So.
Oh, you know what? I looked at the GR. I think they got the GR recently.
The GR86, yeah.
Yeah, they got the GR86, a ZL1, ZR1. You know what? They have a website. They have why am I doing this? They have a website. I could be saving myself of the misery.
I mean, it would help.
Yeah. So they have the GR86. And, like, a Pontiac, like the newer Firebird, I think it looks like Drive Icons of Speed in Forza Horizon 5 Summer Party is what they're in. Ooh. It's pretty cool. What they've been doing recently is they've had a lot more, like, they do way more changes to the map, which is pretty cool. So they got, like, this on the map currently for the Summer Party, which looks to be in the stadium, I think, yeah. It's pretty alright. They got the Summer Party stuff. Here it is. So, they have a Summer Party reward cars is the Ford XB Falcon. What date are we on today? We're on...
The 7th.
The 7th of August. So we are looking at... Yeah, we're in the GR86 week. It's been Summer Party for like 3 weeks now. And we've had no idea.
I mean, next month's Stellantis month, so...
Yeah. Oh, is it? Okay, so Stellantis Italy returns next month. That'll be cool, I suppose.
We say next month, in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Next collective month. Pardon me. Is it like they're doing, like, this whole month is themed on Stellantis Italy? Is that what it is?
I mean, the whole next thing is got, like, Lancia, Fiat.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's just got the logos for the brands.
That makes sense. Honestly, that's probably what... even Motorfest, if they ever get them, will also probably do, like, a full thing themed on them to be like, hey, look, we like you guys, and stay in our games this time. You had an interesting rebuttal to a comment that I tweeted.
You tweet a lot of comments, and I don't agree with any of them, so...
I really did do, like, I did do, like, a worrying if true. Someone just said it, and I tweeted it. Like, I gotta watch myself more often. But someone tweeted,
worrying
like...
if true.
Someone tweeted a, what was it? It was
along the lines of they were closed for 2 years.
It's because they were getting, like, bought out, or they were having management changes or something like that. Here we go. Stellantis didn't want to pull out of games. They were through a total refresh after they merged with PSA, and they shut down their factories and offices, making license negotiations impossible. Now that they're reopened, games can negotiate licenses again. What's the what?
But they just didn't shut down the factory, so did they?
Did they not?
Oh, imagine the red on the stock price if they shut down.
Yeah, true.
Glancy don't make cars.
Well, I mean, they were
Alfa Romeo,
merging,
Fiat.
so normally a merge will be a big old green. So maybe the merge was during the merge, so no one looked
The
at the fact
500e, you wouldn't have any 2022 500es if they shut down the factories.
That's fair. That's fair. Obviously, they've been making new cars. Now I think about it, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, the Alfa Romeo Junior exists.
They're making decisions like no grey cars. Couldn't do no grey cars if they were closed in the offices. You know, they would have to go into an office to be like, guys, no more grey cars. So clearly, some decisions were being
I assume
made.
management was restructured, but that.
Maybe specifically...
There's no way they are run that poorly that a management reshuffle results in the offices shutting down.
I mean, maybe
if so, they don't deserve to be in business in the year 2023.
What if maybe just a devil's advocate, maybe just communications was being put to the sidelines, you know, with the brand communications, so to, like, video games and stuff, right? But then again, they're in TDU.
Why?
But,
how would that...
Was TDU in development before they merged with PSA? Because that would be funny.
I think it was. 21 is when they merged, I'm pretty sure.
TDU's 3 years old now, I think. So, yeah.
I mean, you say merged. I think Stellantis just violated PSA, really.
Yeah. But
PSA have nothing of value.
Yeah, so that was a take that you definitely had a very questionable rebuttal on. Another thing that I suppose we could talk about...
all of your takes you three are bad.
So I made a video about bikes in Motorfest. A full in-depth look at bikes. I drove them. I chucked them off mountains doing big old stunts. He was doing the fucking Macarena in the air, right? It was pretty cool. And the engine sounds are improved, and the visuals are improved, and there's cool new animations. And one big thing is the bike's really heavily understeer. But I complained about this to the behest of you, if that's what that word means. And people in the comments didn't agree very much.
Because you've got to hand it to them on a plate for them to be able to read. Reading between the lines does not exist.
So I'll read
in an audience of YouTube.
I'll read some of the comments that definitely disagreed. As a biker, it's funny how he says understeer when he's going 100 mph in tight turns. I don't understand what he expects. Then there was other ones that are like... I can't find them now, but I send you them every time they come up. There's been at least like 4 now.
Were you into touring car bikes in that video?
Yeah. I go into touring bikes, yeah, and I even mention these understeer worse than street bikes. There's a whole section where I'm like...
people don't really... people can't read, I guess, or listen. One of the
So your explain your point.
It's not that the bikes understeer like that. Well, they wouldn't. You just crash in real life, but they don't understeer. Because it's not a real life kind of... The argument is, how is a Harley Davidson Iron 883 on street tyres able to outturn the Yamaha MotoGP bike on slicks by a mile?
Yeah.
And the whole reality thing goes out the window when a Renault Megane could do like 1.5 G around a hairpin. Like, it's not based on reality.
Yeah, but people did not like your opinions on the on that. They very much disagreed adamantly. Yeah. But I suppose
if it's real life, Harley Davidson should enter that into the MotoGP. They'd win everything.
I mean, there you go. Maybe they should, and maybe we'll see them. You know, maybe we'll see them. But from that, speaking of, I suppose we can move on to the gaming segment of the Stick Drift podcast.
Gaming segment again.
That's what I meant to say. The Motorsports segment of the Stick Drift. I said Motorsports actually. I don't condone this gaslighting.
I've got a nice little notepad of stuff written down.
There you go, prepared.
I can't read half of it. So.
Oh, you wrote it by hand? Yeah, you were screwed if it's your handwriting.
Of course I did, yeah. Yeah,
Really been that bored, unemployed.
I mean, I guess we'll start off with F1 because it's summer break and there's not much.
Yeah.
Alpine is just in absolute shambles as per. Fourth management change in 4 years because Renault can't run an F1 team, long story short.
Yeah.
Otmar and what's it called, Alan have left. Two high ups there. It's like team manager and head of departments. And then they lost one of their chief aerodynamicists to Williams, which I don't know what that's going to do because they're making out paper mache over there. So he's got arts and crafts experience. Well, that's basically all that's happened. And Alex Palou, I think, is being looked at by Williams and AlphaTauri.
Huh.
Which means if Williams dropped Sargent, he would have had a year.
What?
He's not even doing bad. I made a spreadsheet because I was arguing with someone in Motorsports chat over there. They are nice, now that I look at it, it's quite bad. He's average, removing a 38 in qualifying, removing a 38-second delta. The average difference between them in qualifying is 0.63 seconds. And their average race finishing position is 4.1 gap difference. Both massively in favour to Albon, obviously. Yeah. But they should watch his playing. Jesus, they need to keep him. They can't just throw away.
I mean,
they
he's
haven't
good.
Got anyone else.
He makes for good memes now, so that's cool. Like,
when he scores points, it's a funny American raw video.
I see the American video with like an eagle sound effect.
It's like P17, and it's like an eagle and helicopter in the background. Yeah, bangers.
Top 1 driver of all time. He's an absolute killer.
I mean, that's about it for F1, really. I mean, Aston Martin have to bring upgrades after summer break.
I mean, we're on a break now, right? Till
3 weeks or 4 weeks, something like that. But if Aston Martin do not show up with upgrades, they might as well just go home. Like, they're fighting for points now, not podiums.
And after that, it's like 2 a month after that. So that's pretty good, I suppose.
There's 3 sprints in a row at some point around Japan. I'm pretty sure, but
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
And then
pretty cool. Williams not going to get anywhere.
The most you had was on.
I've got about a document. I've got like 5 pages on MotoGP. I can't read half of it. I mean, Aprilia, I sent an image in Motorsports News. It's above Nick joins Mitch. I assume that's IndyCar. I don't do IndyCar. But Aprilia testing a full carbon fiber frame. Which is very interesting because...
I mean, that's light, I suppose.
It's very light, but it's also brittle. On such a high stress piece of the bike, it's to use... I mean, it'll weigh like 10 kilos less, I imagine. Than
and I can imagine that will really help. And that would add to nimbleness too, I imagine.
But it's going to throw off weight distribution as well. Because obviously the frame's very forward heavy.
Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah.
To have all that weight sort of just disappear, I guess it'd balance out evenly. I don't know.
Carbon fiber, tires. Not rims, tires. Screw rubber, carbon fiber.
I guess
tires.
You could have, because you got soft through hard. Everyone used to have super soft through to ultra hard. These could be like
the ultra hard.
Nuclear hard. I don't know.
There you go. And then
I don't know what situation that'd be useful in. I mean, qualifying, because MotoGP qualifying is just... You've got free practice 1, free practice 2. Free practice 2 is qualifying for qualifying 1. So the bottom 14 of free practice 2 have to do qualifying 1. Top 2 of qualifying 1 get through to qualifying 2. Because, sure. I mean, it was a wet qualifying session, which, I mean, it was in Silverstone, so of course it was wet. Bezzecchi, Miller, and Marquez were 1, 2, 3. Both the VR46 bikes basically crashed on the last lap, so no one could get a lap in, which... Yeah. That F1 are thinking about introducing, if you crash in qualifying, cause a red flag, you lose your position, which...
Oh, okay.
Because, well, Bezzecchi was first.
Yeah.
And he crashed the lap after.
Oh, yeah.
but there's no way to prove if it's intentional or not because
Yeah.
it's just whoa, I crashed. Whoa.
What does a crash do though? Does it help? Like,
well, yeah, because no one can set a time because there's yellow flags.
I guess, yeah, okay. Ugh, yeah.
Yeah. It would be an insane life hack to do that every race, but yeah.
But yeah. That must cost a lot because you're still got to do repairs, I imagine.
They don't pay for it.
Oh, okay. Oh, there you go.
I mean, if it's just a slide, I think I don't know if his.
Mm.
Oh no, he had two massive crashes. We had a massive high side in free practice 2, as far as I'm aware, and then he just slid the bike through the gravel in qualifying, which was interesting. I mean, in the race, it was dry, but everyone was on wet because it was wet for like the first 2 laps because Bren. It was Miller got a great start and then ended up falling back behind because he's on a KTM and it's they've put all their icon points into launch.
Yeah.
I mean that was about all that happened really. It was Marquez, Bezzecchi, and Vinales for first, second, third. It was Marquez's first win in his career, and Vinales' first actual podium without inheriting it from penalties and such. So that was interesting. And then I just went on a waft about how Honda are just falling apart, which is funny.
Yeah.
They haven't. The Honda factory team have only finished 1 race between the 2 bikes this season.
Yeah.
Which they were testing a new frame this weekend. It's a frame or front. One of them. They were testing something new this weekend. Clearly didn't work. Both crashed out again.
Yeah.
It's just impossible to ride. Yamaha are nowhere because they're still using an inline 4, not a V4. Which, when everyone else is using a V4, you'd think they'd take notice, but yeah. The race results for the main race were Espargaro, Bagnaia, and Binder, which, yeah, it was a race for sure. It was a race of all time.
Yeah.
To be fair, Espargaro it was a good win actually. We overtook on the second to last corner through a hairpin.
Oh, that sounds kind of cool, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, Bezzecchi binned any chuck because essentially the title fight is between Bagnaia and Bezzecchi. Bezzecchi threw a dive bomb and a half and then just went straight on into the gravel. So his race was over.
MotoGP makes me wish that the touring bikes in Motorfest handled better, honestly. Because like it's a cool, it's all because they have the cool lean. They've got the lean animation now in Motorfest, so it's unfortunate that they understeer so much.
It has to be a bug. It has to be a bug. But yeah, I mean, Bezzecchi ruined his own race by a stupid dive bomb, and then Alex Marquez's gear linkage broke. So those two were essentially out of the top 3, which meant what's it called? Spargaro got up to 3rd, and then there were 3 Aprilias in the top 5 at one point, which which was good for them. And then the other 2 dropped back because Binder decided to remember he's on a KTM that might work sometimes. And then Espargaro was just riding like his life depended on it. It's his 2nd win in 350 something races. So, that's about all I've got for MotoGP.
Well, there you go. And is there much else in motorsports as a whole?
British touring car this weekend.
Did they do a thing? Did they do a big British touring car? Do we know if
next weekend?
Okay, yeah. Well, other than that, then I guess that is mostly it for the motorsports segment. And that leads us into the end of this episode of the Stick Drift podcast. I will also say, I don't know if I mentioned it this episode, unfortunately, guest has been delayed again to next week. But you guys will see this guest. Don't even worry about it. We'll see you boys next week then, I suppose, in a bit.